Welcome to the Mount San Antonio College Athletics Hall of Fame. Our host for tonight is a television personality, a 1968 Olympic gold medalist, 1972 Olympic silver medalist, 14-time world record holder, and a Mount San Antonio College alumnus and Hall of Fame member. Please welcome Bob Seagren.
Yeah, I was a little younger there. Yeah, and skinny. Well, welcome everybody, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome everybody to the 2022 Athletics Hall of Fame Banquet. And tonight, it's rather historic because not only are we introducing or inducting 6 new people into the Hall of Fame, but it's our first event here at this newly, still under construction, Heritage Hall. So it's a great experience for you, and I hope you all take a little bit of time and walk through the museum part and check it out. It's really a great facility. And we're happy to have, when you walk around, you'll see the Rue Family Education Center and the Doug Smith Museum. A lot of memorabilia in there from Mount SAC Athletics over the years. When we had this banquet 2 years ago, it was a great event, but within days after the event last February, things kind of grinded to a halt. Everybody will remember a thing called COVID-19. It happens to still be with us, but it really changed the way we live and our daily lives, the way we go about things. Never thought that kids would be being homeschooled or what do they call it? Learning from a distance. Yeah, and then and everybody's working from home. So many things changed. A lot of events, no spectators allowed at sporting events. So a lot has happened. But what didn't slow down or stop was all the construction going on here at Mount SAC. I tell you, driving up today and seeing all the construction, the new stadiums being built, the aquatic center, the gymnasium, the wellness center, it's amazing. So, I don't know an athlete, a student athlete, why they'd want to go anywhere else other than Mount SAC. So, and I have a little sneaky suspicion that maybe Dr. Scroggins and Joe Jenham are maybe thinking of having Mount SAC join the Pac-12, because I tell you, SC and UCLA will be very jealous when they see all these finished facilities. And I think the Mount SAC athletes could easily keep up with anybody else in the Pac-12. So another thing that didn't slow down over the past 2 years is the Mount SAC athletic department. I'm going to read you this. So in 2020, the athletic department captured their unprecedented 10th overall and 8th consecutive, I'll spell it out, it's the NATYCAA Cup Championships, which stands for the state's premier overall athletic program. So 8 consecutive years they've won that award. And this past fall, the athletic programs earned its 80th, that's an 8 with a 0 behind it, overall state championships, with state championships in men's soccer, wrestling, dual team, regular wrestling, and women's cross country. Pretty impressive, even with COVID going on and everything. Mount SAC is definitely a great leader. Well, tonight we are having our 10th induction class into the Hall of Fame. We have 6 individuals that you're going to hear about and meet and get to know them. And they'll be joining 9 teams and 71 individuals whose legacies have defined the athletic programs here at Mount SAC. So we'll be introducing you to a record-setting U.S. track and field Olympian and distance runner legend, Ron LaRue. a 10-year Major League Baseball veteran, Keith Lockhart, a 10-year NFL veteran who also was drafted right out of Mount SAC, Alfonso Boone, the fastest man in Mount SAC history, sprinter Gerald Williams, Ivy League graduate and undefeated wrestling state champion Corey Hamabata, and two-time state champion, two-time NC2A Division II champion, distance runner Lenore Marino. So those are our inductees tonight. You're going to get a chance to meet them right after dinner, hear their story, and I think you'll enjoy it immensely. Before we go any further, I'd like to have you join me in welcoming our president and CEO of Mount San Antonio College, Dr. Bill Scroggins.
Good evening, and on behalf of the Mount SAC trustees, let me welcome you to our 10th Mount SAC Athletic Hall of Fame. Isn't that great to be here tonight? Isn't this a beautiful facility, Heritage Hall? My goodness, that's wonderful. And the beautiful new Rue Family Education Center here tonight, the christening of this new facility in this wonderful new room. And I want to thank our Board of Trustees for their support of our Measure GO, which helped fund this building, and for all of you who voted for Measure GO to support this building, and of course, to our foundation. The members of the foundation and many other supporters contributed tens of thousands of dollars to be able to have our museum and our wonderful Rue Education Center here. So thank you so much for all of you who've supported Mount SAC athletics, Mount SAC facilities, and all of the wonderful folks who are here tonight supporting all of us here at Mount SAC. So thank you very much for that support. If there's any athletic program in the nation that certainly merits this kind of facility and honor to have these trophies and wonderful awards, it's the Mount San Antonio College athletics. Yes, 10 NADCA championships, which means that in those 10 years, Mount SAC athletics was the premium, top-rated varsity athletic of any program of any community college in the nation, national recognition. That's more by 50% than any other community college in the nation has achieved. And of course, those 80 state championships are more by 50% than any other community college in California. Indeed, the Dominance Award, as it's called, is well earned. And it's not only our athletes that we have to congratulate in all of the work that they put in to be good student athletes, but also our coaches and our wonderful support program led by Dean Joe Jenham. So let's give a round of support for all of the coaches, the trainers, and the administrators that make this program great. And we're here tonight to honor those student athletes. And as you walked around the beginnings of our museum, which we only have started, it's still under construction yet, you see there's plenty of recognition for our student athletes. The number of scholarships won, the number of top-rated students with high GPAs. So I want to emphasize that Mount San Antonio College emphasizes both the achievements on the field, on the court, but also in the classroom. So all of you tonight who support the college in not just these athletic facilities, but all the other teaching facilities we have, you're part of the success of this program. So without further delay, let's proceed to our recognition ceremony. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Mount San Antonio College, I wish to welcome all of you to this event for our newly constructed Heritage Hall. My name is Gary Chow. I am filling in for Board President Judy Chen Haggerty. Trustee Chen Haggerty and our other trustee, Dr. Manuel Baca, have over 20 years of experience in serving the college. To put this in a nutshell, in a baseball term, normally you would hear a starting pitcher come and make the welcoming address. But today, you're going to have to live with a player from the bullpen. Of all the buildings here at Mount SAC, this one is really unique to all of the college. And the reason it's unique is because it's not fully paid for. Now, no, we don't have a 30-year mortgage on the building, and none of the 80-plus state champion trophies are pledged as collateral for the remaining monies we owe on this facility. The reason for the facility is not being fully paid for is because the athletics position was here paid for by Measure GO. And Measure GO allowed the facility to be paid for educational purposes. So there are certain aspects of this facility, like this room and the trophy hall, that were paid for, that the money is fronted by the college until we generate enough funds to pay this. Thanks to the generous donations from the Smith family and the Rue family, much of the cost of the Heritage Hall has been paid for. We are thankful for the voters for passing Measure GO, and if you are inclined to join the ranks of the Smith family and the Rue family, please see Foundation Director Bill Lambert or myself, and we'd be glad to talk to you about how you can be part of Heritage Hall. I want to deliver a few stats on Mount SAC. The college is 60% Hispanic, 20% Asian, and a Pacific Islander, 10% white, 5% black, and the remaining 5% is other various ethnic groups. 70% of our students are on financial aid. That's 7 out of 10. Of the 7, one of them is probably undocumented. So with all the different groups and ethnic backgrounds that are here at Mount SAC, there is a very common feature that is in all of these students. And that feature is a lot of students say, this is the first place that I've come to that somebody believed in me, all right? I have met students who never believed that a B- student with limited athletic skills would be awarded a scholarship. I've met students who the list of the reasons why they would not succeed, why they should fail, is much longer than the list of why they should succeed. This is why being a trustee is such a fulfilling position here at the college. I'm speaking for myself and all my fellow trustees. To use a football analogy, I am in the fourth quarter of life. No, as many of you may feel, I am not at the 2-minute warning. But at this stage in life, I've come to a certain philosophy which is shared by many of the staff here at Mount SAC. And that philosophy is that success in life is not determined by the harvest you reap, but is measured by the seeds that you plant. Thank you very much. Welcome to Mount SAC, and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. My name is Joe Jenham. I'm the Division Dean and Director of Athletics here at Mount San Antonio College. And I didn't quite know how I was going to feel coming up here, because this is a very emotional and powerful moment, being inside this facility with this event. We are so fortunate to have a president in Dr. Scroggins, a board of trustees, and administration that supports student success and programs, not only in our division, but also across the campus. Their commitment to student success is immeasurable. And I have to say on behalf of my division, thank you very much for your incredible support of our programs, and we appreciate you all immensely. So thank you very much. So as was mentioned by Bob, this is our first event inside this facility. We're fortunate to have our induction class here. We're very excited to have our Hall of Famers. But we are working through some of the logistics of what it means to actually host on campus, and so bear with us as we get through the meal service and follow up with our programming. But again, very, very thankful to be here, and certainly there's construction still going on inside and outside if you haven't noticed. But I think when you look at the direction and some of what we dreamed coming to fruition, I think you will all agree that this is an amazing facility that we're all very, very proud of. So I'm very, very happy and thankful about that. I know that you all appreciate the time and effort that goes into an event like this, but I do have to take a moment to recognize those who are very much a part of this. And that includes the committee for the Hall of Fame and also the division office staff who were working tirelessly through this entire process. When we decided to name the class, leaning towards hosting it here, it was a lot to do. And so I would just like to take a moment to have our Hall of Fame committee please stand and be recognized. Also members of my staff and also the foundation staff, come on in here really quick. Let's recognize those folks for all of their hard work in this endeavor. So please give them a round of applause if you can. They're an amazing group, and I'm so thankful to have them. We also are appreciative of those of you who find time to come and join us here tonight to celebrate not only our Hall of Famers, but also this incredible facility. And I know Gary mentioned some of the board members who are here. I'm just going to run through really quickly. So please give them all another round of applause. Dr. Manuel Baca. He was here earlier. Trustee Jay Chen. I'm not sure if Jay is still here. Trustee Jay Chen. Trustee Laura Santos. Student Trustee Juan Mendoza. Thank you, Juan, for being here. Appreciate you taking time to be here with us. Former Trustee Roseanne Bader. Roseanne, so great to see you. As I mentioned, it's an incredible board. We are so lucky. We also have a couple of our administrators that I'm excited to introduce to you, including our VP of Student Services, Dr. Audrey Yamagata-Noji. And our VP of Instruction, my boss, Kelly Fowler. Thank you, Kelly. We also have here tonight one of my predecessors. He was a former Division Dean and Director of Athletics. He's also a Mount SAC Hall of Famer. John Norton is here tonight. John? We have a former VP of HR, Peter Parra. And I'd also like to take a moment to welcome members of our Mount SAC Foundation and our Citizens Oversight Committee. Dr. Scroggins mentioned the measures that we have received through bond funding, and it helps to build some of these facilities that we have here. But we have from the foundation, Olga Fernandez. Hi, Olga. And also from our Citizens Oversight Committee, Drexel Smith. Drexel and his wife Jackie are here. Drexel's the chair of our Citizens Oversight Committee, and so I want to thank you both for your support and hard work on behalf of Mount SAC. We'd also like to take a moment to thank all the donors who contributed to Heritage Hall. Believe it or not, there is philanthropy involved in this, and you may have had a chance to see the donor display that we have. It's yet to be mounted on the wall, but we have the names of those who have contributed already, including, as we've mentioned, the Doug Smith family, and we have named the Doug Smith Museum after him. And also the Rue family. We are so thankful to have a group of folks like the Rues who do immense work for Mount SAC. In fact, Don Rue is the chair of our Heritage Hall campaign. So we're so fortunate to have Don and all of his hard work on behalf of Mount SAC Athletics. I did also want to take a moment, as it was mentioned, how incredibly successful we are, and that is directly attributed to our coaches. And so we have several of our coaches here. I would like to have them take a moment and stand up so we can recognize our coaches who are here supporting our Hall of Famers, and also thank them for all of their hard work that they do each and every day with our student athletes. So coaches, don't be shy. Stand up, please, and be recognized. As Bob mentioned, it's been an incredible, challenging, and difficult 2 years. We've lost friends and family due to the pandemic since we last got together. And that also includes a member of our Hall of Fame who we recently lost to cancer. So if you could join me in a moment of silence for Tom Shine, who was a member of our 65 Hall of Fame baseball team. And we'll certainly take a moment to celebrate Tom and certainly acknowledge him. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And we are so proud of our many accomplishments our program receives from conference, state, and national recognition related to athletic and academic excellence. These accolades are earned by our student athletes day in and day out. This fall was an incredibly successful year. As mentioned, we had 4 state championship teams. We had every fall team earn an opportunity at a playoff berth. Pretty incredible. We had 2, yeah. We had 2 state runner-up finalists. We had a 3rd place finalist, and we also had a football bowl game victory to cap off the fall. Now, the winter, we have 2 incredible basketball teams. Our first, the women's basketball team, is 23-3, and they just completed a conference championship season. They are awaiting what looks to be a #1 seed tomorrow for the Southern California Regional Playoffs, and they are led by Brian Kritzlow, our head coach. And our men's basketball team just completed their season with an 18-7 record. They are awaiting their playoff opportunity. They are back in the playoffs. And I have to take a moment to recognize this coach. He is returned to Mount SAC. He is someone who started our original Hall of Fame classes in 1992 and 93, and he was pivotal to making those two events happen. We did have a period of time where we weren't honoring Hall of Famers for about 20 years, and we reinvigorated and revitalized the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 2013. But this gentleman is now coaching with us in the men's basketball team, again, awaiting a spot for the playoffs, and I wanted to acknowledge Michael Fennison, who is here. Michael, please stand up and be recognized. So just a few more little tidbits. I love talking about our program, so I have to take every opportunity I can. Our spring sports are off to a great start as well. We see certainly top-ranked teams in both our softball and men's and women's track teams. Our baseball team is off and running. Our swim programs are often competing. Our men's golf program is competing. Our beach volleyball team is competing out here. So very proud of our spring and looking forward to what the spring offers for our student athletes and their success, both academically and athletically. We also, as Mount SAC Athletics and Mount SAC Athletics Special Events, signed a multi-year deal with Nike through their national partner, BSN. We're very excited about that. You may see some articles of clothing around that are emblazoned with Nike logos. We have a long-term deal with Nike that we recently inked. And then also, as mentioned, the Natica Cup, which recognizes athletic excellence at the two-year college. It's now sponsored by Daktronics, which is the maker of that beautiful scoreboard you see behind you with our Hall of Famers flashing. The Daktronics Cup, mid-year, we are currently #1 in the mid-year scoring for the Daktronics Cup. So we're off to a good start midway through this year's seasons, and so we're looking forward to our springs being successful. I am going to have some other closing remarks at the end, so what I'd like to do right now is introduce our Associate Dean and Associate Athletics Director, Tammy Knott Silva, to recognize a few more people. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right, it is such a privilege to be here tonight. This is my second Hall of Fame, and first one of many that I look forward to here in the beautiful Heritage Hall. It's been an honor to meet and hear the incredible stories of our alumni who have defied odds, broken barriers, and inspired new and future Mounties to continue to reach new heights. Tonight we have a number of Hall of Fame members who have come back home for this celebration. They are wearing medallions like our Master of Ceremony, Bob Seagren, a 1992 inductee. Can we please have all of our Hall of Famers stand up? So tonight we have Ernie Gregoire, Ray Van Asten, Michelle Taylor, LaShawn Simmons, Zelda Bolden, hi Zelda, Evans Roderick, Kim Boris, Art Perry, John Norton, Jeff Vanderstock, Bob Seagren, Larry Watanabe, Don Rue, Rich Johnson, Carsandra Taylor, Lauren Irvin, Larry Richard, and Pete Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, please, these men and women represent the very best of Mount SAC in their sport. Can we give them another round of applause? Tonight, I also want to recognize our student athletes here representing our respective teams and our Student Athlete Advisory Council. So SAC, I believe you guys are back at table 18. Can you guys please stand up if all the SAC members? Also, Coach Critchlow, please stand up. This student athlete leadership group meets on a regular basis and is directly involved in our program growth, providing guidance on changes needed and participating annually in campus and local community activities and outreach. And again, our head women's basketball coach is the one who leads these young men and women. And then lastly, I want to bring to your attention, as you all have been served, I think you guys were supposed to wait till I was done, and then you guys were supposed to get served. But our men's and women's soccer programs are the ones that had served the food to you guys tonight. And just to briefly brag about them a little bit, they both programs had unprecedented team achievements this year, as our women's soccer team won the South Coast Conference tournament and was in the Final Four in the state tournament, for the state tournament. Our men's soccer team were the 2021 South Coast Conference champions and also the 2021 3C2A state champions. And this was the first time in program history where both men and women competed in the Final Four, and it was hosted here at Mount SAC. So please, round of applause. They're out there getting their food, but we appreciate their hard work here tonight. And thank you, Coach Juan Sanchez and Associate Head Coach Rachel Schmidt and all the coaching staff here tonight. We appreciate you very much as well. Thank you. And I'm supposed to say enjoy your meal, but it looks like, did you guys all eat? Yeah. Oh, was it good? Yeah. Good, thank you.
First of all, I just would like to say how proud and honored I am to have my Olympic medals on display here in the Doug Smith Museum. You know, I've had those things, as Jeff was saying, you know, we came home from Mexico City and we had all this stuff and we put it in a box and, you know, we never opened it up to, 40 years later. Well, that's kind of my scenario. I had them at my office, and when I moved out of that office, they went into a closet, and they've been sitting in a closet. So I was so honored when they asked me if I would let them be put on display here. And believe me, to me, this is where they belong. Because when I came to Mount SAC, the Olympics were very far from my mind. But here at Mount SAC, with the coaching and the facility, it really made my Olympic dreams come true. So, excuse me, I get a little emotional here. So to me, this is the right home for them, and I'm very honored that they're here. So, thank you. I'd like to do something else, just a quick shout out to somebody. 2 years ago, we had our Hall of Fame dinner, and we inducted the 1965 track team. One gentleman who's here tonight was not there, so I'd like to just recognize Art Perry. Art, stand up and just wave, will you? Art was one of 3 pole vaulters here. There was Art Perry, Rich Snibby, and myself, and we were 3 young kids that were scratching our head trying to figure out how do you make this fiberglass pole bend. And it was pretty comical some days. I'm sure where, that thing would bend and you'd go this direction, you'd go that direction, and you never quite knew where we were going to land. But anyway, the unique thing about Art is that impressed me anyway, is that Art, what are we, 75, 76, he is still pole vaulting. Yeah. And so he certainly has my respect, and I think the last I heard, he's got like 5 or 6 age group pole vaulting world records to his name. So, Art, congratulations. Good to see you, buddy. All right, let's get down to the real business of the night. We're going to start with our introductions of our Hall of Fame inductees, and our first is a gentleman who was determined and confident distance runner. His name was Ron LaRue. He led the Mounties to their first state championship in 1957, but he also made a name for himself individually. So let's bring up Mount SAC's winningest coach, Doug Todd, who's going to talk a little bit about this incredible runner. Doug?
Well, as some of you may know, Ron passed away in 2020, and so we're obviously inducting him posthumously tonight. And I have a few notes on him. There's a wonderful bio about Ron in the program, and if you get a chance, please look at it tonight. It's really goes a little more in detail about his great career. I'm not going to read it to you right now, but I want to share a bit about Ron and his place here at Mount SAC. You know, Ron really was an American running legend. When you look at what he did, he was at the top of his game when he was here, and then obviously after he was here. Sometimes in a place like Mount SAC, we can overlook or forget a legend because there are so many other legends here in track and field and cross country, in all the sports. And it's important, and that's one thing the Hall of Fame is doing so well, is it's important that we find the opportunity to recognize these people and speak to their greatness. Ron is one of those legends that I never had the pleasure to meet, but whose name I was certainly aware of, and one that a number of past alumni talk about with great reverence. They would talk about his drive and his work ethic. They would talk about how dedicated he was. And one thing I think I've learned from talking to different people about him is that he was very, very tough on himself. And he wasn't always happy with his accomplishments, although his accomplishments were stellar and pretty amazing. When someone reached out from the Hall of Fame committee to Ron and let him know about his induction, he told the person who reached out that he wasn't really deserving. He said he was a difficult athlete at times, and maybe we should just find somebody else to bring in. And we all kind of got a laugh about that, because I thought, if being a difficult athlete was enough to exclude a person from the Hall of Fame, we wouldn't have many athletes in this Hall of Fame. You know, there's something about greatness and difficulty, or greatness and eccentricities, that seem to go hand in hand. After I share a few of the highlights of his career with all of you right now, I think you're going to agree that Ron was and is very deserving of his induction tonight. A couple of his accomplishments. Ron set the high school national 2-mile record in 1956 when he was at Palo Alto High School. He broke the existing record by over 5 seconds, and that record had existed for over 31 years. It was a pretty stellar accomplishment. I'm going to skip over times because a lot of you wouldn't know what a good 2-mile time is versus a bad 2-mile, or the difference between 10,000 meters and 6 miles. So just know that he broke a pretty amazing record at that time. That same year, he was the California State High School champion in the mile. He finished as the number 3 ranked miler in the country that year. And at that time, his time in the mile was the number 8 time overall in the history of prep milers, you know, up until obviously that time. So pretty amazing year and pretty amazing accomplishment. 1957, he was a freshman here at Mount SAC. I was born in June of 1957, so I'm old. This was definitely pretty old. Anyway, he was running for Hilmer Lodge at that time. Ron set the JC national record in the 2-mile, and he helped the Mounties win their first state championship, not only for the track and field team, but for the college in itself. So that was number 1 of those 80 state championships that Dr. Scroggins spoke of earlier, way back when, and Ron played an integral part in that. He left Mount SAC for Cal Poly, and when he got over there, he immediately set their mile record, their 2-mile record, their 3-mile record, and their 5,000 meter school record. Just an amazing athlete, very committed kid there in that respect. After college, he continued to run, I would say professionally, but back then, the word professionally, you know, there really wasn't such a thing. You couldn't take money. Maybe somebody slipped you $1 under the table. Is that right, Ron? I mean, Bob and Jeff, $2 if you were lucky. So, so there wasn't really a professional career, but there was a post-collegiate career for Ron LaRue. And he won 2 national cross-country championships in 65 and 66. He finished 3rd at the Outdoor National Championships in the 5,000 in 1965. And in 1967, he finished 3rd in the 10,000 meters at our U.S. National Championships. Pretty amazing accomplishments, but probably the pinnacle of his career. In 1964, he made the U.S. Olympic team in the 10,000 meters, and he competed in the Tokyo Olympiad that very summer. Amazing accomplishment, and again, the stories I heard, he didn't get on the platform. He was a little disappointed, but as any great athlete would be. But again, an Olympian, one of the first Olympians for Mount San Antonio. You know, the track and field and cross country have milestones in the sport. Think of Roger Bannister in the 4-minute mile. You know, you break that milestone. Somebody has to be the first. Ron was a groundbreaking, milestone-shattering runner during his career. He was the very first American to break 28 minutes in the 6-mile run. And again, I know it's hard to put that in perspective, but that was an amazing accomplishment, and the first American to do that. He was the second American to break 13 minutes 45 seconds in the 5,000 meters, and again, at that time, that was a huge accomplishment and very groundbreaking. He broke the American record in the 3-mile during his amazing career as well. Ron LaRue is a tremendously gifted, hardworking, tough-as-nails competitor who represented the track and field and cross-country programs and the college in a very positive light as a national caliber runner. He was one of the very first Mount SAC athletes to shine the spotlight of national attention on this institution. It was for these reasons and many others we are proud to welcome him into the Mount SAC Athletic Hall of Fame, where he will take his rightful place with so many other legends that have served the college so well. We will make sure that his family gets his... Oh, he is? Oh, fantastic. I'd like to bring up Peter LaRue, Ron's brother, please. You snuck in on me. I was watching. Congratulations.
Thank you. You're a great speaker. Hello, everyone. How's it going? So I have an interesting story. Is my brother Ron, who passed away a couple years ago, he was the oldest of 9 children, and I am the youngest of the 9 children. So I literally didn't even live in the same house with him, ironically enough. So that was an interesting experience because Ron would come home every year or so from college, from Mount SAC, and we'd sit at the dinner table and he would say interesting things about Mount SAC. He has very fond memories. And he was very appreciative of being a student at Mount SAC and on the track team here, and many accomplishments that he had springboarded from going to Mount SAC and having the support of the athletic department and everyone who gave him the opportunity to be here. So thank you, everyone.
And then the Hall of Fame medal.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, I know, even though we're a little younger, but we certainly, Jeff and I and some others here, certainly remember Ron and his great running career. So, all right, up next. Are out of Northview High School, Keith Lockhart's persistence and never-give-up attitude earned him a 10-year playing career in Major League Baseball and a baseball career that continues today. Let's watch this video and learn a little bit more about his career.
Keith Lockhart is a retired second baseman who played for 10 seasons in the major leagues from 1994 to 2003. Lockhart began his collegiate career at Mount San Antonio College, where he played for legendary coach Art Masmanian. At Mount SAC, he was the team's MVP and earned second-team All-South Coast Conference honors in 1984. He debuted in the major leagues with the Padres in '94. He played 27 games with the Padres and then signed as a free agent with the Kansas City Royals in 1995. In his first season, he batted a career-best .321, and in '96 he hit .273 and drove in 55 runs. Shortly before the start of the '97 season, Lockhart was traded to the Atlanta Braves. He played for the Braves for 6 seasons, contributing 353 hits, 178 runs, 166 RBIs, and a .671 on-base slugging percentage as a Brave.
Many say pinch hitting is the toughest role in baseball, but you wouldn't have known that by watching you. I still marvel at how you were able to come off the bench late in a big spot and seemingly more times than not come through with a giant clutch hit.
In 2003, he returned to San Diego for what would be his last major league season. He retired at season's end with a .261 career batting average, 44 career home runs, and 268 RBIs. For his tenacity, work ethic, and impact on the sport of baseball, Mount San Antonio College proudly inducts Keith Lockhart into the Athletics Hall of Fame.
Unfortunately, Keith could not be here tonight, but we do have a taped interview with him accepting the Hall of Fame award. Watch the screen.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all enjoying yourself tonight. First off, I want to apologize for not being there in person, but I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the Hall of Fame committee, selection committee for including me in the Hall of Fame along with these other athletes. It's truly an honor. Especially want to thank Melissa and Ken for just their patience in putting up with me throughout this process. I fell in love with baseball early on. When I was young, I grew up in a single parent home with very limited resources. And I remember just starting out in Little League and just falling in love with the game and just loving every aspect of it. If I wasn't playing, I was at the field, keeping score, doing the scoreboard, and I just felt like it was somewhat of a safe haven for me. And I felt like I got basically my identity through playing ball. I think I was, as a kid, you're getting positive feedback for something you do. You're like, I want to keep doing this. But I just truly love playing, and I knew I wanted to play as long as I can. And so I played through Little League, and then graduated up to, the pony levels, and we played at Hollenbeck Park, which is really right across the street from my house. And, I remember graduating high school and still not having a place to play the following year. And I remember we hosted a World Series at Hollenbeck Park. I was 17 years old, and there was teams from all over the country. And we played this particular team from Texas, and they had a couple guys that were really good. One was a left-handed pitcher that ended up playing in the big leagues for a while, Greg Swindell. And we ended up beating him 2-1, and I got a couple of hits off him. And I remember leaving the field and exiting the dugout, and there was Coach Mazmani and Craig Wallenbrock standing outside the dugout, and they called me over, and we talked about the game, and Craig talked about my swing a little bit, and Coach Maz asked me where I was going to go to school the following year. And of course I had no idea. And he said, well, he talked about Mount SAC and their program. And, he said, I'd love for you to come play for me. And of course I was ecstatic, because I, felt like I had a place to call home for the next couple of years. And, I truly believe that playing there at Mount SAC and playing for Coach Maz changed the course of my life. I went there to play baseball, but also study fire science to be a fireman. My dad was a fireman in LA County. And I was, thinking about, well, I can stay here, I can play baseball and study and become a fireman. Well, that all changed, playing for Coach Maz. I mean, he, was very stickler about fundamentals, and he even coached a class at Mount SAC. I think it was baseball 101, and you had to learn how many seams were on a baseball, the dimensions, how far it was from home to first, the home to the pitching mound, home to second, and just really, he felt like if you were going to play the game, you need to know all the rules of the game and every aspect of it. So that's one thing I learned there. And then on the field, Coach Maz he was an old school type of a coach, and, he demanded that you were prepared, you showed up on time, and he taught you how to play the right way and expect you to play the right way. And, that including respecting your opponents and also respecting the game. I feel like he taught me so many things about the game. I think he knew my family situation and background, and, Coach Maz not only loved baseball, but he cared about people, and he saw there was potential in me, even though I was rough around the edges. He knew I had the ability to play beyond Mount SAC, and, through his connections, I was able to get a scholarship to Oral Roberts University, and it's where I met my wife, and changed the course of my faith as well. And I think the foundations that I learned from Coach Maz and Mount SAC just led me to play, 18 years of professional baseball. And, I got to play for a lot of good people, starting out at Northview with Bob Cates, and then Coach Maz at Mount SAC, and then on to professional baseball with Bruce Bochy, San Diego Padres, and Bob Boone with the Kansas City Royals, and later on and finally with the Atlanta Braves, playing for Bobby Cox, who I felt like was the same type of personality as Coach Mazmanian. I think Bobby had a few more ejections than Coach Maz did, but they both had that, kind of fiery personality that, I don't know, I was able to click with. They love players like me. I mean, I wasn't a superstar, but, I was someone that just showed up on time, played hard, respected the game, and did what I was told and didn't complain a lot. And I think that's the reason why I was able to play as long as I did. So again, thank you for everybody tonight, the selection committee, and including me in the Hall of Fame. And I hope you have a great night, and thank you again for including me in this. Have a good night.
Watching that video, I couldn't help but wonder that collection of bobblehead dolls. I wonder what they're worth. I don't know. All right. Up next, our next inductee is Alfonso Boone. He started his athletic career as a hockey player. Now, since there was no hockey team at Mount SAC, the Mount SAC staff developed him into a quiet but tenacious NFL defensive end. Watch the video.
Working with Alfonso Boone, back when he was with us at Mount San Antonio College, was very easy to do. He was a yes sir, no sir guy, a gifted, talented young man, and consistently working on his craft. Every time that we asked him to, for example, sprints, those big guys running those sprints for 110 yards, very difficult. He never missed a step. All he would say was, "Thank you." Alfonso's character was one of the things that separated him from some of the players that we've had that had the same skill level. He was able to make those around him better by not saying anything, but just by performing. So that humility and the ambition that he had was second to none. He was an all-conference player, and he was an All-American JC Gridwire person. He definitely was able to improve his skills. And again, the accolades that he made here were just another step in getting his direction that he wanted to do, and that was play in the NFL. He was drafted by the Detroit Lions, eventually played with the Chicago Bears, and also made it to a Super Bowl. He played a little bit of time with Kansas City Chiefs, and he ended his career, his playing time, with the San Diego Chargers. And he played well in each one of those situations.
And Alfonso as a teammate, I really enjoyed my time playing with Alfonso. He was reliable. He never said anything. He just did his job, went about his business. Not a lot of guys like that in the NFL, especially these days. So I always appreciate that about him. He was fun. We had a good time in the locker room.
Oh, I think his legacy is something that you can look back and say, how many people in the NFL were drafted out of a junior college? Nobody. There's only one, and that was Alfonso Boone.
For his perseverance and success on the football field, the Mount San Antonio College Athletics Hall of Fame proudly welcomes Alfonso Boone.
Well, unfortunately, Alfonso could not be with us tonight, but we do have a taped interview of his acceptance.
First, I want to apologize for not being able to make it to the event. Due to kids' prior engagements, I just cannot make it out there. And for all you guys who know me, know that this is not me talking about myself, and that's not something that I do. I do appreciate everything that Mount SAC has done for me. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I greatly appreciate this honor, and I'm looking forward to visiting the school and checking out all the new things that have come to pass in several years since I've been back. I want to thank everyone in the football department for everything that they did to get me to where I am today. That includes Rod with his constant, let's just say, father-like attitude towards everything that I do. Because we know that I don't want to talk. I just want to do my job and go home. And again, thank you very much for everything that you guys have done for me. I truly appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the near future.
Definitely a gentle giant, my gosh. All right, our next honoree, Gerald Williams, the fastest man to ever run at Mount San Antonio College. This three-time state champion parlayed his speed into success on the international stage and in life. Let's learn a little bit about him.
In the 75-year history of Mount San Antonio College, no Mount SAC student-athlete has run faster than Gerald Williams. 22 years later, his 100-meter record still stands. Williams prepped at Linwood High School, where he was a standout athlete, competing in football, basketball, and track, where he was a sprinter and jumper. During his senior season, he accomplished what no other single athlete had ever done in the history of the CIF State Track and Field Championships. Williams won the long jump, took second in the triple jump, third in the 100 meters, and fourth in the 200 meters. As the only Linwood male athlete competing in the state championships, he single-handedly scored 29 points to place third as a team. Williams decided to continue his education and career at Mount SAC. As a freshman, he was plagued with injuries, but still managed to win a SoCal championship in the 100 meters and long jump. After taking a year off to rehab an injury, he roared back to set the college and National Community College record in the 100 meters. That season, he was undefeated in the 100 meters and captured the state championship in that event, as well as in the long jump, and as a member of the 4x100 meter relay. His performance produced over a quarter of the team's points, which earned Mount SAC's third consecutive men's track and field team championship.
To be a school record holder at Mount SAC is a great thing. I think we have 17 or 18 athletes at Mount SAC that have been in the Olympic Games. Some have won medals. So it's a high honor. It's a great tradition to be on that Mount SAC track team. And it shows that he always wanted to be great. And he was great. Him winning 100 and 200 meters and 100 meters in the state championship is a great accomplishment.
After Mount SAC, Williams joined the professional ranks, signing a development contract with Nike and training with renowned track and field coach Dr. Ernie Gregoire.
When I met Gerald Williams, I was very impressed with his versatility of how many things he could do in the realm of track and field. Are athletes born or are they made? Well, I believe that athletes are born with certain innate qualities. But hard work brings them out. Stick-to-itiveness, a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot to become a national class, world-class athlete. And Gerald had all of those things. And while he was with us at Mount SAC here, he worked them to perfection.
As a professional, he was consistently in the U.S. top 10 rankings and was ranked #1 in the world in the 50 meters. In 2000, he competed in the U.S. Olympic trials where he was a finalist in the long jump, taking 7th place, and a semifinalist in the 100 meters. In 2001, he was a member of the U.S. World University Games silver medal 4x100 meter relay team, and in 2002 he placed 6th at the U.S. Championships in the 60 meters. For his incredible track performances, Mount San Antonio College is proud to induct Gerald Williams into the Athletics Hall of Fame.
Well, I get this honor here, so hang on a minute. Open this puppy up. Here we go. All right. Congratulations.
Wow, what an honor. First of all, I just want to thank God for allowing me to even be here to accept this award. And I also want to take a moment of silence, because if it wasn't for my grandmother, I probably wouldn't even have on a track spike. And we buried her a few months ago. So if we can just take a moment of silence for her, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Back to the scheduled program. So I wasn't going to write a big old speech or nothing like that, so I just figured that I'll say something from my heart. And all the coaches here at Mount SAC have did so much for me. Geez, I was a little kid when I came here, and I left here as a man. Each one of these coaches, Coach Yokoyama, Coach White, Coach Gregoire, Coach Goss, Coach Todd, Coach Rue, Coach Goff. You guys are amazing. You guys are all like father figures to me, and I appreciate you. Each one of you all have a specific place in my heart, and I appreciate you all. And I thank everyone that came out to support these great people that's been inducted with myself. And it's just such a great honor. Being at Mount SAC is, oh my gosh, it's a life changer. Mount SAC is the place. It needs to be in the NCAA, if you ask me. Where the greatest athletes compete, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right. Congratulations, Gerald. Our next inductee exemplifies the term student athlete. Corey Hamabata not only captured the wrestling state championships, he went undefeated the entire season and maintained the grades to attend and later graduate from an NC2A Division Ivy League university. I think we have a video.
Corey Hamabata grew up in the shadow of Mount SAC, being raised in the city of Walnut, where he attended Collegewood Elementary, Suzanne Middle School, and Walnut High School. During his childhood, Corey was an avid soccer player, but after entering high school, he followed in the footsteps of his father and joined the wrestling team. He spent most of his high school career in the 103-pound weight class before moving up to the 112 pounds in his senior year. He earned his spot on the varsity team from his sophomore year, capturing 3 league championships, and in his senior year, he qualified for the CIF state championships, but did not make weight. Corey continued his education at Mount SAC in order to pursue his interest in a firefighting career and continue wrestling competitively. After the disappointing end to his high school wrestling career, Corey felt he had more to accomplish in the sport. In 2003, he placed 8th in the 133-pound weight class at the California Community College State Wrestling Championships. In 2004, he took the opportunity to become the head coach at Walnut High and continued to train with the Mount SAC team using a redshirt season. A year later, in 2005, Corey returned to put together one of the greatest seasons in Mount SAC wrestling history. He capped off his sophomore season with an undefeated record and a California Community College state championship.
Corey was a pleasant surprise. I really didn't expect him coming from the local high school here. But he stepped up, did a great job for us, especially with the leadership role. He was a great leader on the team. He was very goal-oriented. He helped me keeping the guys together, keeping it more cohesive, and he had a great work ethic and a lot of discipline. It helped with the other guys seeing that and then them stepping up and making us more competitive as a wrestling team.
Following his incredible 2005 season, Corey was recruited by a number of university programs, but ultimately decided on competing in the Ivy League for Cornell University. Due to his strong academic record at Mount SAC, he decided upon Cornell for their top-tier academics and their nationally ranked NCAA Division I wrestling team.
Corey was a team player through and through, someone you could trust to help you become better. He was tough, strong, and he was just a competitor.
At Cornell, Corey competed at the 133 and 141-pound weight classes. In 2008, he received the team's Donald Dickinson Academic Award for Success in the Classroom and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in economics. After graduation, Corey took his experiences and knowledge into the business world, working in the hotel sector for various corporations in Chicago, Los Angeles, Singapore, and Hong Kong. He rose to the top ranks within the hotel and hospitality industry, serving as Senior Vice President of JLL's Hotels and Hospitality Group in Hong Kong, before starting his own hotel investment platform in 2021. With his new company, he hopes to use his 15 years of hotel investment experience and extensive Asian region relationships to find success once again. For his accomplishments on the wrestling mat, his drive to succeed, and his commitment to excellence, Mount SAC proudly inducts Corey Hamabata into the Athletics Hall of Fame.
Please welcome Corey to the stage.
Get this honor. There you go.
Well, there we go. I'm very humbled by this award, and so many people to thank, and coaches, parents, family, friends, so many people to support. Even Coach Rod gets a shout out for helping me qualify and stay eligible as an NCAA athlete upon transferring to Cornell. But I thought that maybe today I'd just share with you all some thoughts that I had upon hearing that I got this award. And, you know, the first thing that I felt when I got the notification that I was going to get this acknowledgement was that I didn't deserve this. And the first thing that always comes to mind are the failures and the goals unachieved and everything else that you set out to do that you never were able to attain. And whether it was wrestling or career, you know, reflecting on that, I've come to realize that, you know, the arc of performance in what you do, it's not based on whether you succeed or fail in certain goals. You know, when you're competing at the NCAA level in Division I, you lose a match, you're pissed off, naturally. But what you fail to realize in that moment is a career of training and working out and practicing that got you to even into that match. And so, in that sense, I think that success and a failure, when you set your goals, is almost irrelevant. They're like goalposts, lampposts lighting the way forward for you. And, you know, it's not until you take a long-term view that you can see the progress that you've achieved over time. And so, you know, I think that each thing that you attempt to do, and if there's one message that I can pass to the people here, the athletes who are still competing, is that if there's one thing that you do, each thing that you attempt to do, whether you succeed or whether you fail in that attempt, it's all a note. And each note in and of itself, it might be significant, it might be insignificant, but it's not until you look at it all from up high looking down that you can see the symphony that's playing out ahead of you. So thanks again, and yeah, I'm humbled. Thank you.
Again, congratulations, Corey. Okay, our next inductee. She might be one of the quietest leaders, but no one roared louder on the track than Lenore Marino. Let's watch this video and see how she, along with the Mount SAC staff of track and field, transformed her into a distance running phenom.
Growing up in West Covina, Lenore Moreno was always surrounded by movement. Having two older brothers constantly playing sports, the athletic scene was set, with Lenore intent on following in their footsteps. At the age of 4, she began playing softball, and from there, things never slowed down. With her father as her coach, Lenore found success on the diamond, competing and traveling as an all-star for many years. In the off-season, Lenore also honed her skills on the basketball court. But it was watching her older brother run high school cross country that motivated her early on that she too would run someday. Lenore joined the West Covina High School cross country program during her freshman year and immediately made the varsity team. A gifted runner, she was a 4-year all-league cross country selection. As a Bulldog, she also ran track during her junior and senior years, advancing to the CIF Southern Section Championship preliminaries. In 2008, Lenore's running career flourished when she attended Mount SAC and joined the cross-country and track and field program. During her freshman year, she earned Most Outstanding Freshman in cross-country and earning All-American honors when she took 4th at the state championships. In track, she captured the 10,000 meters state championship and was runner-up in the 5,000 meters.
Distance running is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. It takes determination, commitment, hard work, and it's not a glamorous sport, so you really have to be self-driven. Everyone saw how hard she worked, how fierce of a competitor she was, how determined she was to just work as hard as she could and accomplish the goals that she set for herself. And they all admired that, and I think were inspired by watching her throughout her career at Mount SAC.
She continued her dominance during her sophomore season, once again earning All-American honors with her 5th place finish at the State Cross Country Championships. On the track, she repeated as 10,000 meters state champ and added the 5,000 meters title. In her 2 years at Mount SAC, Lenore set both the Mount SAC 5,000 and 10,000 meters records, captured 4 Southern California and 4 South Coast Conference individual titles. Lenore graduated Mount SAC with a degree in kinesiology and transferred her talents to the University of La Verne. During her junior year, she earned her first NCAA All-American honor and became the West Regional Cross Country Champion. She earned 3 more NCAA All-American honors on the track and captured the 2014 NCAA Indoor 5,000 meters and Outdoor 10,000 meters title. Lenore also broke university records in the 1,500 meters, 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters, and as a member of the distance medley relay. After earning her degree in movement and sports science, she decided to try longer distances, and after winning the Disney Tinkerbell Half Marathon, she moved up even longer and captured the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, qualifying for the U.S. Olympic trials in her very first marathon. Prior to the 2016 Olympic trials, she also captured the JetBlue Long Beach Marathon and the Holiday Half Marathon. With a goal of going out and enjoying the moment, Lenore finished in an incredible 13th place in the U.S. Olympic Trials Marathon, which was held in the streets of downtown Los Angeles. After some setbacks from major surgeries, Lenore continues to run on her own and has plans to run another marathon before retiring. She shares her passion and knowledge of the sport to student athletes through coaching and volunteering. Lenore credits her experience and support she received at Mount SAC as a reminder to always keep pushing forward and to never give up.
You know, there's many types of leaders and leadership, as we all know. We've experienced a lot of them. Lenore's was a quiet strength, a quiet confidence. For her, the the higher the pressure, the more relaxed and composed she seemed to be. There was just something about her. She wasn't real in your face, rah, let's go team type of a person. She just exuded a confidence and a calmness that would tend to bleed over to the team. And it was amazing to watch, and it was a really special thing as well.
For her tenacity, resilience, and incredible character, Mount SAC is proud to induct Lenore Moreno into the Athletics Hall of Fame.
All right. Please welcome Lenore to the podium. I get this honor.
Oh, thank you so much.
I think we did this once before at the Long Beach.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm glad I took my speech class here at Mount SAC. It's going to help me for this. Wow, I'm like literally shaking just being here and just in a big group of just talented and incredible people. Seeing all these photos brings back such wonderful memories that I will truly never forget. I'm just amazed and honored and truly blessed. To begin with, I have to thank the entire committee for putting this on. Coach Yokiyama for giving me that phone call when I was at Disneyland, having the best time of my life with my boyfriend, telling me that I was going to be an inductee. For Mark Rue, and Melissa Shepard for this beautiful video that she put together. To my parents, I don't want to look over there because I don't want to start crying, but you guys are the light of my life. I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for their 100% support in everything that I do out of my entire athletic career. They were literally at probably 98% of my races just cheering me on, whether it was here or it was in Wisconsin. They were always there every single step of the way. My dad instilled this quote to me that always helped pull me through. And that was, you work hard in practice, everything will pay off in the end. That's definitely something that I use, whether it be in my career or just, in my own life. I wanted to thank my brothers. I have one of them here sitting up front. He's actually the one that got me started in cross country, and when I saw him running, I was like, I had to be like that and follow in their footsteps. I have to thank both of them for never going soft on me or easy, always beating me up and pushing me to my limits. I was always their younger sister, and I always wanted to outshine them, and they never gave me, never gave it to me easy. My sister-in-law, Stephanie, who is also here, thank you for always motivating me and to being the best version of myself. My boyfriend, Eric, who is also here, who is also a Mount SAC alumni. He did the 1,500 and 800 meters as well. Thank you for always being there for me and just pushing me. I have to thank my coach, Frank, who was my high school coach. He is also here as well. That was a stepping stone of where it all started, where it all began. He likes to tell the story to this day of when I first went out at practice, and I was just lollygagging with my friends, and I felt bad that I didn't want to leave them behind, but he told me that I wasn't going to get any better if I just stayed back with my friends, and to this day, I thank him for pushing me. And lastly, Coach Doug Todd, Jenny Clacken, and Mike Goff, just incredible human beings, incredible. You were all the first coaches to push me above my comfort zone. You taught me the true meaning of being a long-distance runner. There were times, where you saw Coach Jenny Clacken. She was my coach in track. She would come up to me and tell me, Lenore, all right, we're going to do 400, 2,400-meter repeats. And I would just look at her like, okay, and then she would set these times for me, like these goals, and I never believed in myself, and she did, and she instilled that in me to always just set goals, and whether they were, far-fetched or not, just to believe in yourself and always get it done, and which you can see it really benefited me. Running at Laverne College was awesome. Winning an NCAA title was even better. Going to the Olympic trials was amazing, but I think being a Mountie alumni is the best thing. I wouldn't have been so successful if I didn't start here. The school paved the way for me in sports and in academics. Thank you everyone for listening and being here tonight. I want to end this on a special quote that is so dear to me. And that is, hopefully I don't butcher this, but it's, there's no place I'd rather be than being here and being inducted into Hall of Fame with everyone else here. So once a Mountie, always a Mountie. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, congratulations, Lenore. Well, that's our 6 inductees for the evening. I would hope you would all join me in giving them another round of applause for this wonderful class of 2022. At this time, I'd like to ask Joe Jenham, our Dean and Athletic Director, if you'd come up for some closing remarks.
Yes, thank you, Bob. Can we acknowledge the masterful job Bob Seeger did once again for our Hall of Fame event? Long-term contract, Bob. Not going anywhere anytime soon. We love you. I also want to take a moment to thank Melissa Shepard and her crew with Broadcast Services. The videos you saw here tonight, the time and energy they put into making those happen, connecting with the Hall of Famers. Melissa, thank you and all your staff for what an amazing job you did. Can we give Melissa one more round of applause, please? We will be inviting the Hall of Famers, our new inductees, and all of the Hall of Famers up for a photo, a group photo here shortly. We do have a quick announcement. There is some major construction occurring on the Temple Avenue. If you go westbound out of this parking lot and head west, you're going to be blocked. It's going to be detoured. So you have to travel around the campus to get to the west side of the campus. So just in case you head out of here and you realize, wait, they blocked it. They're working on our pedestrian bridge in one of our parking structures, gateway parking structure. And so they have closed the westbound traffic on Temple Avenue. I also wanted to acknowledge someone who was here this week helping us. As was mentioned, our men's and women's soccer team were here providing the service end of the meal, and we're so very proud of both of those teams. And we had Chef Shelley Doonan here to help us kind of train them and get them oriented to the process. So I'm not sure if Shelley is still here, but I did want to acknowledge her and thank her for her time and energy with that group. So please join me in thanking Shelley. And this being a momentous occasion, our first Hall of Fame induction ceremony inside Heritage Hall, I did want to talk about the amazing hard work that went into this project and all those individuals who are very much a part of that, including our campus project management team, Gary Gitcomb and Leonard Ortiz, the folks with Tilden Coyle, especially Joe Herzog and Tracy Ellis. We had amazing trades and subcontractors working on this. We are ahead of schedule as far as this building was concerned, and they did an amazing job to put as much of this together for us so we can host our first Hall of Fame event in this facility. And I'd also want to acknowledge HMC Architects with Simon Solis and Hector Galaxa. They were both integral into the developing of the plan and also seeing it through on a daily basis with our weekly meetings as we move through the construction phases. I also want to acknowledge the museum piece. And it is definitely work in progress, but you can see the direction we are going with that and highlighting the legacy that is Mount SAC Athletics, and Mount SAC Athletics special events. And so our Hall of Fame, evident is the enormous pride that we have in our Hall of Fame classes, and certainly we want to acknowledge those, and to have a museum like this to be able to do it on a campus. Certainly when you look at this facility, it's still developing. When you look at the construction around this facility and the stadium, there's still a lot that is going on, but come back in 12 months and you're going to see one of the top two-year college facilities in the country. I mean, we are really, really proud of that construction. So the museum piece was a a labor of love. It's something that we've been working very closely with the media presentation group that's owned by Nate Nielsen and his staff, including several members who are part of the design and planning and the fabrication, and then the install that we've been doing, believe it or not, over the last week, the last 7 days. And they've been putting in 10-hour days, in fact, longer at some days. But we were putting it together so that we could at least show you the vision that we have for that space, and we hope you're very proud of it and what we're doing and what we're trying to showcase as far as our legacy. But I did also want to recognize an individual, and unfortunately, he's had to be pulled away for a family emergency. We mentioned the Rue family, and if you know Don Rue, you know Don Rue loves Mount SAC. He has given his career both as a coach, as a mentor, but also in retirement to continue the amazing work that needs to happen with Mount SAC and Mount SAC athletics. And his son hasn't fallen very far from that, that legacy. And so Mark Rue has been the energy and passion behind making that museum what it is and what it will be. And I just want us all to take a moment and just thank Mark, even though he's not here, but he'll feel it in spirit, for all of his hard work and time and energy and dedication to put towards that museum piece. And so please join me in just thanking Mark Rue for his amazing work related to the museum. So in closing, again, thank you very much for being here, for acknowledging the new class of Hall of Famers that we have. So I want to just thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you very soon in this facility, recognizing future Hall of Famers as well. So thank you again, and have a safe evening. If we could have our Hall of Famers, please join us up here at the front. We are going to take a group photo here very shortly, but thank you and be safe. Take care.